Welcome everyone to my Clorinde kit overview. Clorinde is finally coming out next patch in version 4.7. In this video, I will go over Clorinde's kit and explain what she does and give some of my early thoughts on her. Keep in mind that all information in this video comes from an oddly specific dream I had. Because of that, everything is highly subject to change, and nothing is 100% confirmed yet. And before anyone comments on the pronunciation of Clorinde's name, in the game, it's pronounced as Clorinde.
Clorinde isn't very... Clorinde?
So that's what I will be calling her. Please do correct me if I'm wrong though. So Clorinde is a 5-star electro damage dealer. She wields a sword, has a crit rate ascension bonus, and scales on attack. Clorinde, similar to Arlecchino, uses the Bond of Life mechanic in her kit. The Bond of Life mechanic locks away a part of your HP, and in return gives bonus stats when the Bond of Life is healed, or grant other bonuses for the current Bond of Life percentage. But without further ado, let's get into her kit. Clorinde's normal attacks deal 5 hits of physical damage and are not a significant part of her kit. Using Clorinde's elemental skill allows her to enter the Night Watch state for a set duration. In this state, you have the option of either normal attacking or using her elemental skill. Using normal attacks, Clorinde will switch to a pistol and deal electro damage to enemies. This infusion cannot be overridden. These special attacks are called Wild Hunt. Using her skill, Clorinde will switch back to her sword and perform a lunge attack dealing electro damage, similar to Xiao's skill where he dashes onto enemies. The lunge or thrust Clorinde does is called Impale the Knight and is considered as normal attack damage. You could spam her skill in this state to deal damage, but there is a way of increasing her lunge or thrust attack damage through a Bond of Life. If your current Bond of Life is less than 100%, using Clorinde's normal attacks in the Night Watch state will grant a Bond of Life worth 35% of max HP and deal increased damage. Once the total Bond of Life reaches 100%, Clorinde's normal attacks will no longer grant a Bond of Life and will deal less damage than before. So, that means you could use her normal attacks until you reach 3 hits, which will give a Bond of Life worth 105% of max HP, and then switch to the lunge attacks by pressing her skill. If there is no Bond of Life on Clorinde, using her skill to perform the lunge attack will deal the normal amount of damage. If the current Bond of Life is less than 100%, Clorinde's lunge will be enhanced to level 2, increasing damage and AoE of the attack, and also heals a percentage of the Bond of Life. Once the Bond of Life is worth more than 100%, Clorinde's lunge attack will be enhanced to level 3, which further increases damage in a larger AoE, and also heals a greater percentage of the Bond of Life. So, in short, using her skill will allow her to enter a special state. In this state, you can either use her normal attack to deal electro damage with her pistol, or press her skill to lunge onto enemies and deal electro damage. In the elemental skill, Night Watch state, using her normal attacks will grant Clorinde a Bond of Life. Once you have a Bond of Life greater than 100% of max HP, Clorinde's lunge attack damage will be increased and heal until the Bond of Life goes away. So, in most cases, you will want to be mixing in both her normal attacks and the skill lunge attacks in the Night Watch state while maximizing the damage of each type of attack. Additionally, in this state, Clorinde will not be receiving any healing from other party members except healing from her lunge attack. Similar to Arlecchino, however, unlike Arlecchino, the healing Clorinde receives will be converted into a Bond of Life, which allows you to run healers and increase your damage. This also allows her to be run with Farina without many drawbacks. Moving on to her burst, Clorinde will grant herself a Bond of Life and deal AoE electro damage. So, with the extra Bond of Life you can gain by using Clorinde's burst, it might be beneficial to use her burst before her skill to allow Clorinde's lunge attack to deal increased damage from the beginning. As for her passives, Clorinde's first passive activates when any party member triggers an electro-related reaction. This will increase the electro damage dealt by Clorinde's Wild Hunt attacks, which are the pistol electro attack in her elemental skill stance, and her burst damage by 17% of Clorinde's attack for 15 seconds. This can stack up to 3 times. It's not quite clear whether you need 3 different reactions to reach the maximum number of stacks, but assuming you just need to trigger any electro reaction to stack this passive, You can easily reach the maximum number of stacks if you're playing Clorinde in any Electro team such as an Overload team, Electro Charged, and Quicken. This passive allows her to be used in many different Electro teams as she's not restricted to one team only. Her second passive activates when Clorinde's current bond of life is 100% of max HP or above, granting you 10% extra crit rate for 15 seconds whenever the value of the bond of life increases or decreases. This can stack up to 2 times, and each stack is counted separately. This passive gives you extra crit rate, which is very nice to have, allowing you to focus more on crit damage as you have an extra 20% crit rate from this passive. And lastly, Clorinde has an exploration passive, where she marks resources unique to Fontaine such as the local specialties, similar to other units of other regions. As for Clorinde's signature weapon, Absolution, it has a high base attack and a crit damage substat, identical to Mist Splitter Reforged. As for its effect, it firstly increases crit damage, and whenever the bond of life value on your character increases, the damage dealt will be increased by 12% for a maximum of 3 stacks. This weapon is very similar to Mist Splitter, as both weapons have a high base attack and a crit damage stat while providing damage bonus. Clorinde should also be able to stack Mist Splitter's elemental damage bonus easily. So, expect both weapons alongside other 5-star weapons to be very strong on her. Since Clorinde deals with the bond of life mechanic, the Fontaine craftable weapon Finale of the Deep looks like a very strong 4-star and free-to-play option. This weapon grants a bond of life and increases attack once the bond of life is healed. Clorinde can heal the bond of life as part of her elemental skill stance. And since she scales on attack, this weapon will likely be very strong on her. Although do keep in mind that I have not calculated anything yet, and this is all my early thoughts. As for artifacts, since Clorinde has the bond of life mechanic, the new set fragment of Harmonic Whimsy might be her best in slot, and since her attacks and her elemental skill stance count as normal attack damage, Gladiator's Finale and other sets might also be very strong and competitive on her, similar to Arlecchino. As for her teams, since her passive grants bonus electro damage when party members trigger electro-related reactions, you will ideally want to play her in electro team comps with other party members of elements that react with electro. We can expect Chevreuse Overload teams to be very strong, alongside electro-charged teams and Quicken. As for Hyperbloom and Quick Bloom, since Clorinde does not have any sort of elemental mastery scaling, these teams might not showcase her full potential. But that's all from this video. Keep in mind that nothing is official yet, and information this early is very likely to change. Thank you for making it till the end, and thank you for watching.